Good morning, beloveds. Hope your day is going to start off blessed and beloved because you are. You're very much beloved. You're so much beloved that, I have to refer to our planet, the Earth. We're so beloved that we are provided every single thing we need to bring joy, love, peace, blessings into our home. That's how blessed we are. That's how much we're loved. We have everything we need on this planet. Mother Earth provides for us as if, just like we as mothers provide for our children. And so, we could think of it in a bigger way. If we go more broad than who we are, we could think of the Mother Earth kind of like the mother, because she gives us food, she gives us gas, she gives us wood for houses, she gives us trees for shade, she gives us flowers for beauty. She gives us mountains to climb for strength and stamina. And we can think of this in our mind as well. Mountains, obstacles, problems, things to overcome so that we can be proud of ourselves, so that we can stand tall, so that we can move forward. She gives us all of our material needs on this planet. This planet truly could be heaven on earth. Now let's talk about the Great Spirit, the Father, the Most High, the prominent spiritual thoughts we can have, the most highest love, the most, to extend ourselves outward and become taller in how we think, how we feel, how we stand. We stand grounded in the earth. And we always want to stay connected to the higher soul, spirit, in order to channel that down into the earth. Always higher ground, always climbing the mountains, always looking to do better, always trying harder. And that's just, that's what our life is all about: adventure, overcoming. And the more adventurous, the more we overcome, the more people we meet, the more love we have in our hearts, the more grateful we are for all these things that come into our life, which makes things even better and more passionate. And we love God, we love Creator Source. We know there is a Creator Source because there's creation all around us, right? Right. So today is Tuesday, I believe, February 7th, and let's see what we're going to focus on today. Beloved, you are all beloved. And this planet is a planet of love, and you can tell because it gives and gives and gives. Reflection. Looks like we're going to talk about reflection. How do we think? How do we feel? Do we feel like we're in paradise? Heaven on earth is supposed to be when we begin to stand in our truths, understanding spiritual knowledge, sharing all resources, meaning there's enough resources on this planet that it's time for the inheritance of the children to come about. Reflection on days of old when everybody walked on this planet and had everything they needed. And the truth is with great inventions of medical, of industrial, all these great inventions with AI and all this coming into being, the truth of the matter is people shouldn't have to work so hard anymore. There was a time when families had a chance to be together. Yeah, there was a time when families worked a few hours a day in the garden, and they hunted, and then they all come home and they did things that made them feel good and brought the best out in them. Study or hobbies or something that they love, even if it ain't doing a doggone thing. And that's a right of a human being being on this planet. Heaven on earth is only going to come when we begin to see that we as co-creators with God can do that. We stand in our truth, we move forward, we reflect on what feels right, what don't feel right, and you got to be willing to break some rules, because rules are definitely meant to be broken. They are. They grow old. They don't fit anymore. And so, going back to the fact that our industrial world has come up with enough great inventions and there are plenty of resources, there should be no inequality. There should be no first class, second class, third class, fourth class. These class things aren't really fair for all of us because the earth belongs to all of us. You're an earthling. And if you're born an earthling, this planet is your mother. And if this planet is your mother, then you deserve your inheritance from our mother. And the father actually wants this to be. Believe it? You shouldn't have to wait to die to go to heaven. No, we came here to make heaven on earth. We are souls actually coming down into the human flesh and creating a planet that we can return to again and again. Now, let's say in 6 lifetimes and you come back with the way things are going right now, what are you going to face? And that is why I am doing what I'm doing. When I come back in my next lifetime, because God doesn't fail us in kindergarten, right? We don't get failed in kindergarten. So when we come back in our next lifetime, what kind of planet are you coming to? What kind of planet are you leaving your children? What kind of laws and rules have been put upon you that are meant to be broken? Such as, you're supposed to work all your hours that you do, never get to see your family, somebody else raising your children. Is this the kind of life you want? So when we think of reflection, we want to look over our lives and see if it coincides and meets that place that we feel is true and honest. And we know in truth and honesty that you cannot take one thing and have thousands of people and they all own it and only one get the best of it and the rest not. So we got one planet, we have billions of people, got plenty of resources, we got lots and lots of inventions to help everybody not have to work so hard. We got AI, yeah, it's come along, and now is the time that we start standing up for ourselves and asking for our part of the earthly inheritance that was always promised to us by God. Okay, so we're going to draw 3 cards, and of course, like always, the top card's going to represent God, this card's going to represent the man, and this card is going to represent the female. And these are the higher souls that are talking to us, okay? They're sending us a message from the highest of the high, all right, for us down here on earth, that we can ground into the earth, our mother, and become her caretaker and her watchtower that stands up for truth, honor, dignity, and integrity for all creatures. All creatures. Even the bears deserve a place. Even the bears deserve their own place. The wolves, the foxes, we cannot overgrow so much that we're taking over nature. We have to give our creatures a place to be. And not only that, don't you want your children to see them in future generations when you come back? And you will be back. You've been here before. It's a recyclable thing. We come, we go. Death is nothing but a transition. Okay, what's the universe got to say to us today? Oh, great one, great creator of all things, Mother Earth, what would you have us to know? Death. The old ways are coming to an end. It's time to cut out the old. This is taking the sickle to things that no longer work for us, standing up in truth, progress. This means cutting away the old so we can progress to something new. There's nothing the matter with death. We die 1,000 times in a lifetime. Every time let's call it the old rug gets pulled out from underneath of you, you have to die. You die. And then you transform and you come back as something better. Yeah. The old ways are dying. No God sent his son to be tortured and died to save you. That's dark work. That's occult. It's occult works. It's to keep you from seeing truth. Let those old ways die. Those were old, harsh people that created these rules. We went into the dark ages after that. This was a dark time when they said that we have to work so hard and they treated us so harsh, and we don't know how it happened. We just know it's always been so. You shouldn't have to work so hard. You should get time with your family. And not only that, 4 hours a day, and you should get paid for it so you can save that money up to take your children to go see Egypt, so that you can take your children to go study a natural ecological site. You know, the food should be provided. There's plenty of food, and there's plenty of people to help continue to work 4 hours a day. We don't need to work 8 to 14 hours a day in order to support ourselves. We should only work 4, and then we come home for lunch, and after that, we get to have a day. That day belongs to you, beloved. Let that day belong to you. Let this sink in. Let the old ways of slavery die, where you have to work for just barely enough to pay the bills, where you have to work for barely enough. Yeah, we don't need a Democrat or a Republican. Now we need a social contract. We the people demand our fair share of our earthly inheritance. We the people demand it because it's right. There's one earth, billions of people, only 1% live well, the rest of us are struggling. We the people, God's inheritance promised to us. We have to stand up for that. We can't be afraid. We got to be independent. We are past this. Cut away the old. Find a new mind. Renew yourself. Understand that you deserve more. You can't get more until you think and know in your heart that you deserve better life. Your kids deserve a better life. Do you want to leave this world to your kids? Most kids are so anxious right now because they know that they're going to have to work 14 hours a day in order to support themselves once they are on their own. I mean, these old ways have died. They're not good for us. They're not good to leave to our children. And it's up to us as adults to see the truth, to see through the fog, to reflect. Has this life worked for me? Do I have is there inheritance for me to leave my children? Yes, God left it here. It's the earth. That's your inheritance. You have a right to the best food. You have a right to the best education. You have a right to the best medical. And you have a right to a family home for your whole life long. Because just as the birds are taken care of every day in their nest, as Jesus said, look at the birds. This is the way life is supposed to be. So as the birds graduate and find better in life, they all share this. Okay, same with people. As inventions come, innovation, and we move forward, the old ways die. It's time for something new to be born. You see that? 10 swords on the nail side. These are a lot of ideas that no longer work. It's the end. You can't get no more than 10 swords. Our men and women have worked themselves to death. Reflect on this. This is about reflection. Do you ever feel like, man, all I do is ever work? All I ever do is worry about paying the bills. All I ever do is think about medical. All I ever do is worry about getting nutritious food. All I want to do is just come home, turn on the damn TV, and not think about nothing. Look, it's time we stood up. Let those swords fall. You know, the male side, we all know men die quicker. They live harder, they live faster, but the most thing is most men have worked themselves to death, doing their best to pay the bills and keep up with the Joneses. So we've got reflection, and this tells me when you look back on life, you find a lot of things that need cut out, and the old ways. And this does mean old. This is actually a wonderful card. It means it's over. The old ways are done and over. We don't want them anymore. We need a social contract. We need the people to stand up. We do not want to vote Democrat or Republican. No, we need somebody to bring us a social contract. We need a good lawyer. We need a lot of good lawyers. And all we want is a social contract to begin. That the people work a 4-hour day workday, children go to a 4-hour school day, and the rest of the time can be devoted to the people to strategize and make plans about what they would love to experience while they are here in their living flesh. Because we will go back to our soul, we will find a place to rest for a while, and then we will come back into the flesh. Because I remember many lifetimes. Haha. Celebration, baby. This is Venus in Aries. Aries is the leader. He's fire. Yes, action. Venus is material. She likes to have a good home. She wants good food. And she wants great kids. And she wants a great life. This is family, celebration. Stand up for your family. Stand up for what's right. You've been you've been captured. We are in a cycle that is dead and gone. We no longer have to work like we're trying to survive. Our planet needs our love now, not our discoveries, not our ripping her out, now we need to learn to love, to settle in, to look at our resources, to make sure there's planning ahead, that we can make sure that we have them so that we can celebrate within every generation. We want to celebrate life. We do not want to have to be struggled and weighed down in life. We want to dance and love and enjoy things and have celebrations. We want enough money that those 4 hours that you work a day should be paid the same so that you can travel, so that you can take your children to see these wonderful historical sites around the world. You deserve to see them. I deserve to see them. You know, let's bring heaven to earth. And we do it by standing up in truth and understanding and the art of peace by bringing these things to mind. We do not have to go to war. We do not have to fight. We can do it in peace just by remembering to cut away these things. We no longer need distractions as Republican and Democrats. We are at a place that we don't need to compete anymore. We don't need competition. What we need is a 4-hour workday. This is 4 of Wands. We need a 4-hour workday so that mom and dad can come home and dance in the kitchen. Yeah. and then plan what they'll do the next rest of the day with their kids and their family as they build the structure of family again. This world wasn't meant for industrial millionaires and billionaires and trillionaires to steal all her resources. Those resources are ours too, yours and mine. The gold is yours and mine and theirs. The water is yours, mine, and theirs. The trees is yours, mine, and theirs. The minerals are yours, mine, and theirs. The gas is yours, mine, and theirs. The oil is yours, mine, and theirs, because we all live here. It's an illusion. The fence is an illusion, and it doesn't work anymore. One more card, people. Two of Pentacles. Balance it out. Think about it. Reflect on it, have imagination, cut away the things that aren't working anymore and start thinking about it. You know, does it work for you working for 8 to 12, 14 hours every single day? Never being with your family, never having time to plan or strategize any wonderful things happening in your life. It's just day-to-day work, and never even enough time off that you can think. You've always got this worrying, I got to get to work, I got to get home, I got to do dinner, I got to get the kids ready, I got to pay the babysitter, I got to pay the rent, I got to pay this, I got to pay that, I got to pay the bills, I got to do that, I got to do this. Or would you rather have a 4-hour work day that you can come home every day and dance and be happy and know that your life is awesome? You've got plans to travel. Your kids are educated by the best educations. Your kids are under the best medical care. You have a home for the rest of your life, just like the birds in the trees. Two of Pentacles. You can have it one way, or you can have it another way. It just takes standing up. What do you want? You want the swords in your back where you have to worry every day and you're leaving that to your kids? Or do you want the pentacles? Do you want it this way where you work 4 hours a day and you're also entitled to the inheritance of the earth and the resources, which is a home, food, education, and medical? The basics. The basic humane things. No more abortions, because every child has a home. A good education, because you better believe once all homes are provided for, the education system will begin teaching about birth control and safe sex and the scientific facts on sex and all that, so that people will know themselves better and they won't be so prone to have children, through hormones. That's what I'm going to say, because I did the same thing. I had children. I didn't even know what the hell was going on. I didn't want the children, but I was still having sex. So I know how it goes, and I know how it happens. So anyway, I love you guys. Have a wonderful day. Remember, it's not about entitlement. It's your inheritance that was promised. Read the Bible. Read anywhere. This land is my land, this land is your land, from California to the New York Islands, to the Redwood Forests, to the Gulf Stream waters. This land was made for you and me. As I was walking that endless highway, I saw above me that endless skyway. I don't know the rest, but I love you. Goodbye. Bye, 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 bye. Mwah.